Hey guys, and welcome back to the Inside View Real Estate Podcast. Today, very important episode. Do you want to flip a house in 2021? You're gonna be surprised at the answer. Stay tuned. All right guys, welcome back. Here is my beautiful host, Josh Zuniga, and today we're gonna be getting into, should you be flipping a house in 2021?
Yes or no?
Ooh, what do you think?
Well, I got 4 projects going on right now, so I'm on the yes side, but there's a difference, right?
Dude.
There's a difference, yes or no. And
Is this one of those things where you're like, don't do as I'm doing, but just do as I say?
Yeah, I guess you can say one of those things. This is what I'm gonna say. You have over 15 years of experience. I have over 6 years of experience. Together we have over 20 years of experience of like flipping homes.
Yes.
We've vetted our crews. We know the systems, we know the process, we know the market, we know how to buy these properties.
We pull permits.
Yes. We're doing the permits things.
Yes.
So we know how to do the operation.
Yeah.
Do I recommend it if it's going to be your first flip in 2021?
No freaking way.
Absolutely not.
No way.
Absolutely not. Why? Because we talked about it before.
Guys, keep in mind that I do a lot of flips. I have still lost money on flips recently.
Yo.
You get into a house and it blows up on you. Legitimately.
my gosh.
Rose Lane was a complete disaster.
Central Phoenix, man.
Looked really good, and then I get into it, and I'm like, what the hell's that smell?
It's a mess. Plumbing
Plumbing is broken inside of the walls. All the plumbing was crumbling. It was all cast iron.
That sounds like $9,000.
It was all galvanized. $9,000, a lot more than that. You know why? Because we had to hammer out all the walls. So in order to get to the vent stacks, we literally had to smash all the walls out. We had to smash out half the foundation, and to get up underneath it and run all new ABS.
Wow.
It was a very, very, very expensive operation.
Yeah.
And so you don't know that until you get into it.
Yeah.
You're buying a lot of these homes sight unseen, or you're buying these homes with no inspection, or you're waiving inspections, or you're like, oh, I don't give a shit, I'll figure it out when I go. It doesn't work like that. So like even experienced investors, somebody that, I built like 100 homes probably, built them, and I still make mistakes in today's market.
Still happens.
And now the margins are so tight because people are buying homes at retail, and then they put money into them, and then they expect them to sell for more. And I think the only reason why people have been doing that is because they got lucky. The market appreciated, so if they held on to it for 6 months because the project took 6 months, then they made 15%, right?
Yeah.
And that's the only, and then they're ass slapping and high fiving each other like, oh shit, we're professionals. And I'm like, did you run your comps? What were your comps 6 months ago? Okay, so it's, that's a lot less than it was right now.
Yeah.
I mean, what's your take on it?
Well, I'll tell you this, man, because obviously we had the pandemic in March of last year, and I'll just tell you this: thank God I didn't have any projects going on at that time, because I would have been scared shitless. I figured like, this is gone. I'm gonna lose all kinds of money. I'm over leveraged, right? We're gonna lose these projects. How am I gonna sell these? Nobody's gonna be buying them. I even called my hard money lenders that we're working with in partnership, and I was like, hey guys, what are you guys doing? Are you still lending on this? And he's like, we're holding back all lending indefinitely.
Wow.
I was like, holy smokes. I was like, that's some big time. And then I talked to my brother, who's also in the mortgage industry with Fairway Mortgage, and I called him. I was like, hey, brother. I was like, how's it look out there? I was like, man, I've been on conference calls all day, and this looks worse than 2008. And I'm like, awesome. I was like, well, I'm good for a couple years, right? I'm glad that I have a nice little nest egg, for that. But if an individual is doing their first project or maybe their second and third, because even like you said, even with 15 years of experience, we still make mistakes. There's still surprises. There's still unexpected costs that actually happen every single time. There's just no way of coming around that. So if I'm going to answer the question, should you invest in flipping a house this year in 2021? If it's your first time, absolutely not. If you're going to partner with somebody that has experience, knows what they're doing, knows how to buy it, knows how to do the rehab, has good crews, you've seen their product, you've walked a few of their houses, and they've actually sold them, then yeah, that might be a smarter move for you. And maybe you can just put in like maybe $10,000, $20,000, whatever you decide and feel comfortable with, if they're okay with partnering with you on that.
Yes.
And just so you can get a little feel and a little taste of like what it is to invest your money.
And I think you kind of hinted on something just briefly there. And I think there are investors that make money in every market. It doesn't matter if it's up, down, sideways, backwards, completely flipped. In a market like today where there is a lot of exposure to market risk, right? If the market were to turn and you were held holding this asset and you need to get rid of it quickly and you have to sell it for a loss. But investors will find ways to make money because I think good investors have patience. Good investors buy opportunity. They don't buy homes. They're buying an opportunity. And I think that we need to make that distinction because that patience is what's going to pay off. And I think people's tendency to just rush into the market because they see all their friends making all this money around them, you might get lucky, but the good investors are patient and they wait for the right opportunity.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a big thing, guys. Especially even like one of the biggest things about, especially when you're buying a house, and this is just my personal opinion, is like you have to buy the house right. All right, buying the house right is buying it as deep as possible because then if anything comes up, like you have a market correction, if you have a pandemic, if you decide, or if you start tearing behind walls and now you have to spend $13,000 in plumbing, you're insulated enough that with enough spread, that you're still going to be on top or hopefully even break even, after everything all is said and done and you actually sell the house. If you don't know how to run your comps and know exactly how much it's going to cost you, invest in this property to get it to rehab and get it to market, and then what you can sell it for and still make a little bit of money, you're in the wrong game where you need to have some mentorship and you need to get the right team on your side to know exactly what those numbers are, what they look like, and be very knowledgeable, especially in your own market, your own city, your own subdivision, and the type of house you're going into. Like you were saying, like the house you ran into was from what year? The 70s?
1963.
1963 in Old Town Scottsdale. And I've done one 1944 in Central Phoenix. And those were projects in half. I spent $9,000 to redo my old plumbing, and I was not expecting that cost. You spent $13,000, and those are just some of the things, especially in these older neighborhoods, right? And now I have different standards. I have different standards on what kind of project I'm going to take in and what's going to actually be worth my time. Is the money really worth the headache? Trust me, man. I know we do a lot of projects, and traditional business is wonderful. But usually the stress comes from the flips.
Yes, 100%.
Contractor's not getting it done on right. We ran out of materials, don't have the right materials. There's like just things happen. Shit happens all the time, right?
And you can't control it.
Yeah, and you have to be ready for that, and you have to be prepared. And like you were saying before, patience, right?
Patience.
Like we're grateful, obviously being in this market that, we bought a house, and started the rehab. We had certain comps, and the project has appreciated, another 20, 30 grand just in the couple months we've been rehabbing it.
Yep.
I just listed a house, in Sun City that we were going to think about 385.
Beautiful job, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm really happy about that. Dad, you're welcome. 385, but then we decided to list it for 410 because of some of the new sales that have happened with there, right? That's just having the market on your side
But that's
and
luck.
having
I don't
luck.
like
Yeah.
luck. I don't
Having
like
luck,
luck.
right?
I don't
Having
like being
luck.
lucky.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't want to
You're going to
plan
take
on
the
being lucky.
wins. You're going to take the
Yeah,
wins. You're going to
totally.
take the wins.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, guys, like you need to be prepared for what's going to happen. It looks like it's cute, peaches, roses, and daisies, HGTV. Oh my God, they're like the perfect family, and they're flipping all these houses. It's wonderful. It's easy. It's amazing. It's not like that. It is dirty. It is grimy. It is like it's going to push you to the limits. It's going to stress your level. It's going to put your stress levels up there, and you need to be prepared for that. What do you say?
100%. Yeah. I mean, you got to be. Being lucky is not a good business plan. Let's just put that out there right now.
You got to be
it's
prepared,
really
man.
not. And so being prepared and having those resources and having the experience or having somebody you can mentor that can mentor you is so fundamental to your success. Do not just go wing it, especially in this market, because there's some really, really savvy investors out there with a lot more money than us.
Yeah.
Yep.
We get beat out all the time.
All the time.
Right? All the time. Well, guys, we can talk all day, and we can have about 20 episodes just on how flipping.
We should do that.
And we will eventually. Flipping, hard money, how to choose your contractors, all kinds of good stuff. But we're going to end it on this one today. If you should invest in flipping a house in 2021, yes or no, the decision is up to you. But until next time, guys, we love you. We miss you. See you next time.